This video is to show you how to do a lab plan down here in MCA Labs. This will be a little bit different than Culinary Essentials and maybe even a little bit different than the last time you took a class down here, so make sure that you pay attention. First, you'll find these. They are yellow and they are in the black organizer bins that hang on the wall between the dish room and the office. So each person will get one of these for today to practice. Usually it's one per group. So today you will grab one per person and you're going to staple your recipe to the back every time, just like this says, and then you'll start filling it out. So some of it is the same as Culinary Essentials. So day of lab, for example, you would have a W for Wednesday, station number 5, for example. Every person in your group, even if you're each filling one out today for practice, will go on here, and then the duty that they have. So if you've already had a lab that week, then you know what your duties are already. If they don't have a duty, make sure that you put a 0, none, NA, draw a line, because I want to make sure that you checked for each person. So every one of these will have name, duty, however many people you have in your group. Next up is menu item. So for example, you would say lasagna. Class topic, maybe we were learning homemade pasta, so we're talking about starches. So here you would say starches, grains, homemade pastas, leaveners, cheesecakes, whatever the class topic might be. Usually you can find out what that is by paying attention in class, or I have it summarized on the board. So it will say flours and meals, for example. Next is cooking method. Not everything has a cooking method, but most things do. It might be simmer, poach, steam, boil, saute, bake. This would not be puree because puree is not cooking. That would be a combining method, but anything that's cooking. So generally, what is it applying heat? You might simmer, boil, and bake because you're making two different things or because that's how that product works. So you'll have cooking methods there. Yield is how much it makes. So if it makes 12 cookies, it makes one 9x9 inch pan of lasagna. Whatever goes there, you can usually find that on the recipe. And then portion size is how much is actually in a portion. So it makes a 9x9 pan of lasagna, or it makes 12 cookies. Are you supposed to eat 12 cookies? Usually the answer is no. What's an actual portion size? It's usually, one cookie, for example. Prep time is everything leading up to when you would start cooking it. So for my lasagna, I would have to brown the beef. I would have to make the noodles. If I were going to make the noodles, I would have to make the sauce, shred the cheese. For cookies, I would be making dough after I measured all of the ingredients. So try to read through and figure out about how long will each thing take and add them all up. Next is cooking time. That's how long does it take to cook. So if it says simmer bring to a simmer for 3 minutes. So it's going to take a little while to get to a simmer, and then it will simmer for 3 minutes. So start adding those up. If it's going to bake for 10, then it's pretty straightforward. Total time would be prep time plus cooking time combined for total time. Service time, you'll draw a line through most of the time unless we have a specific service time. So if we are sharing with others, or if we have, an event, then we'll have service time, or if we have a certain cleanup duty that has to happen. So on a lab day, this part would stay in your kitchen. This is going to get cut, and then you would have this. And this will have all the equipment that you need. So this is like when you watch my demo and you write down the equipment, it would all be written here. So do we need a tart pan? So we would have, one, and then tart pan. This is anything that you're going to have to pull out from anywhere. So if it's a mixer or an oven that's sitting on your table or it's in your kitchen, then you wouldn't write that. But you would have anything that you're going to have to pull out from places. So I'm going to use the mixer, and I know I need a paddle attachment. And you can go side to side or up and down. I know I'm going to need one chef's knife, and I am going to need one kitchen shears. Okay? I know I'm going to need 3 rubber scrapers because as I was counting, I noticed that I'm going to use them in 3 different places. And then I am going to use one blue scoop. So these are things that are pulled from your knife locker, your drawers, and around the kitchen in various places. So those would all be listed there. And then, like I said, this is cut. And then this is going to get cut long ways also. So that's why this is in bold over here. This will be one person. This will be one person, and this will be one person. So supply cart is in the baking room. It's that back of the room, like closer to the dish room. In the culinary room, it's going to be in the center of the room on a speed rack. So that's everything that is not at the staple table. So if we first think about what's at the staple table, then we're going to have flour. And let's say we need 8 ounces of flour. We know there's sugar up there, baking powder, and you can go check out and see what's up there. Don't just assume it's there. go look. So those ingredients would be there, and you always have an amount, because then this person will have this portion and they will go measure all of those things and bring them back. So you're not all coaching each other at the same table. So supply cart items, let's say that I need ground beef, and I'm going to have a 1/2 pound, and I am going to need an onion, 1, and cream cheese, 6 ounces, and chocolate chips. Doesn't that sound disgusting? So that's all going to be there with the supply cart item and the amount. We don't usually fill it up. Sometimes on kind of crazy weeks we will. So that would all go there. And then of course you're writing this, not typing this, so I'm just deleting so that it's not on my copy. But that would be finished. Check it, and then you would staple your recipe to the back and turn it in. That should be it. You would turn it in. If you don't turn it in, then you won't cook the next day, because I need to know that you're planned and you're ready. On lab day, it's cut. 1, 2, 3 different people had 3 different ways. Somebody in your group will probably have one of those duties that requires something at the beginning, you know, laundry, setting up the sinks, things like that. So you will all have roles then. Please let me know if you have any questions.